Hey, this is Ryan Levesque here. And listen, I'm super excited for this next interview. And the reason for that is we're going to be talking with someone who literally started at ground zero. Like, she was starting with nothing. She had no list, she had no product, she had no presence. And in a super short amount of time, she was able to go from ground zero, from nothing, to getting some pretty incredible results that I'm excited to share with you. So if you are a coach, if you are starting from ground zero, if you are like, I've got nothing, I've got no list, I've got no product, I've got no business, I got nothing, you're going to love this interview that we're going to be kicking things off with here. And I'm excited to introduce our special guest of the hour, Dr. Tangie, Dr. Latanya Watkins. Dr. Tangie, tell us something good. How are you?
I am doing wonderful. I'm very happy to be here with you today.
So before we get into it, before we dive into the quiz and everything that you've created, just tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us, who you are. Tell us a little bit about your business and maybe a little bit about how you got into doing what you're doing right now.
Yes, so I am a success alignment coach, and I got into coaching through being a physician. And so a lot of people know that being a doctor is really hard work. People experience burnout, and a lot of people find themselves having to choose between success and happiness. And that's what I help people do, like realize that they don't have to choose between one or the other. And I help them align their goals with their souls so they can have both.
I love it. I love it. And it's so cool what you've done, because I imagine you came from a place where, is it safe to say that you were suffering from that sort of burnout and exhaustion and struggle, and you said, I want to make a change in my life, and now I want to help other people make that same change? Is that kind of, is that fair to say?
Exactly. Yes, very fair.
I love that. So, well, let's get right into it then. I love your story. I think it's really cool, the shift that you've been able to make. And I think it's really inspiring for people, especially someone who's maybe in that situation, whether they're a physician or not. Like, if someone's in a career, or they're in a job that they're feeling exhaustion, they're feeling burnout, they're feeling like, is there another way? I love your story so much because you've proven that when you've got the right tools, you've got the right strategy, there is another way. Like, you can leave that world behind and you can start fresh, you can start new. So a few short months ago, tell us about your online business. What was the size of your list? What was the size of your business in terms of revenue? Where were you? Tell us a little bit about what life was like before you launched your quiz funnel.
Yeah, I was fueled by hope, and all of my numbers were zero.
So 0 people on your list, 0 revenue, no products, nothing to start with, literally just ground zero. Talk us through a little bit about what's happened since. So you launched at the end of last year, if I understand, and in just the last few months alone. Just let's start with the size of your audience. So tell us how much your list has grown on the back of your quiz funnel in the last couple months.
Yeah, so I started like late November, December-ish, and my email list now is over 5,000 people. I have generated over $40,000 in revenue, and I've had several 5-figure months. So it's been pretty amazing. Very happy.
I'm looking at the stats right now. That's why I've got this big smile on my face right now. That's crazy. So we'll pull this screen up here that I've got in front of me. So literally going from 0 to over this number down here, 5,558 opt-ins. I'm sure that number is actually a bit higher today than it was when this screenshot was taken. So over 5,000 people coming into your world. So building an audience from ground zero to over 5,000 people, building over $40,000 in revenue in just a few short months, 5-figure months happening already. And I know the big question, Dr. Tangie, that everyone's asking is, can you show us the quiz that has helped make it all possible? Because that's what everyone wants to see. And if you're good with it, how about we pull this thing up and walk people through it? Does that sound good?
Yes, absolutely. Would you like me to pull it up, or would you like to?
I can pull it up on my side, but maybe I'll ask you to talk a little bit through what we're looking at. So
Okay.
we've got the screen on the quiz here. What's your success alignment score? Maybe you could just talk a little bit through the idea behind this quiz and really what you're trying to figure out and help people identify when they take this quiz.
Yes. So my whole idea is to help people achieve success and happiness by aligning their goals with who they are on the inside instead of always being fueled by external validation. And
Mm.
so that's how I came up with the name of the score. And I ended up putting people into three different buckets. One is, well, we could just go by the questions. And so, like, I wanted to know because I work with several different clients. So I started off coaching just physicians, but then I noticed like physicians aren't the only people dealing with burnout and
Mm.
exhaustion. And so I started getting a lot of entrepreneurs and lawyers, and I have like even one client that's like an interior designer, just people I wouldn't have ever expected. So
Mm.
I have a question of like, are you employed or are you an entrepreneur? And just kind of, I just wanted to get an idea for like who people most adore in their life, like who they look up to. I don't work with all women, but my clientele is mostly women. So,
Mm-hmm.
so those examples are clearly women.
All
And then,
powerhouses. Hard for me to
yeah,
choose. So, you mentioned Beyonce before we hopped on the interview, so I'm gonna go with Beyonce here. Um,
yeah.
cool. So, talk to us a little bit about this question.
Yeah. And so then I feel like you have people who have success in their career, they feel fulfilled, they feel valued, and they really want to see like what they're capable of beyond that. And then you have a second category who like I'm successful, but like I'm like really struggling to kind of like um enjoy my work. And sometimes I wonder like, was it worth all those years in medical school? Was it worth all those years in law school? Was it worth like the blood, sweat, and tears to do what I do every day?
Right.
And then you just have people who are kind of beyond that point, who they're just like, I hate my job, but it pays well, so um that's why I'm here. I'm just here so I don't get fined, as that
Right.
meme
Right.
a couple of years said. And then I started from, asking people like, who do they most respect? And so then these are kind of like the masculine powerhouses
Mm.
um, in that respect. And then I wanted to get an idea of people's relationships in their lives, because our relationships are very important in how we function in the world. And so you have people who have very meaningful relationships. They're non-toxic, they're authentic, and full of connection. And then you have people who want like really strong relationships in their lives, but they often take a back burner because they're so busy at work. And then the third category are people who are really struggling to have relationships because they're so insecure or unhappy with how their life is going.
Mm. That's great. I like this question here. This is a great question. This question's familiar to me because it's sort of one of the things that I'm always curious about. What's really motivating people, right? Is it freedom? Is it
Yeah.
impact? Is it legacy? And oftentimes it's a combination of all the above. But if you had to pick one at this very moment in time, really what's there that's motivating you? Is it to have more freedom? Is it to make an impact? Is it to leave a legacy? It's a great question to really kind of uncover what's happening behind the scenes in someone's life that's driving them to where they are here today. Cool. Talk to us about this question here.
Yeah. So this question was just speaking to purpose, and you have some people who are already very purpose driven. They're always seeking their fullest potential. They always want, their goal is to always be evolving, and and see what they're capable of or how much they can impact the world. And then there are some people where that sounds very attractive, but they just can't figure it out. They're like, yeah, the purpose sounds really great, but yeah, I don't know how to, I've been trying to live on my purpose. I've been trying to figure out my purpose for years, and I just still don't know it. And then there are some people who aren't pursuing it. There are other things that are taking precedent, like survival mode is a real thing. They're like, I'll worry about purpose later. Right now I'm just trying to pay my bills.
Right, right. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, and I can see those kind of three buckets definitely starting to emerge here. And then kind of last few questions here, which best describes you? Are you someone who plays by the rules, rather ask for forgiveness than permission, and rules are made to be broken? I like that one. I'm married to someone who always plays by the rules, but I think she would know very quickly that the way I would respond to this is rules are made to be broken. So I'm going to click that one, and then that takes us to our results here. So your results, e.g., where should we send your complete success alignment score results? So folks who take this quiz, they get a great report, they get great results, and talk to us about what happens next. If I type my email address, what happens next, and how does this lead to what you are selling on the other side of this quiz funnel?
Yes. So what happens next is you get a breakdown of your subtype, each giver. And so there's a video that explains, what that is and, how you tend to operate in the world. And at the end, it leads to an invitation to schedule a consultation through my calendar.
Love that. And what I love about this so much, for anybody who's in a business that they are having conversations one-on-one with clients or prospective clients before working together, is I think that there is no better way to develop trust, rapport, and deliver immediate value than to do so through a quiz funnel. Because let's unpack what your audience has been able to get here. So number one, you've asked some very insightful questions through this quiz. So they're very introspective questions where people are really thinking about themselves, they're thinking about their purpose, they're thinking about what matters to them. So you're taking them through this very, I think, powerful thought exercise that they're reflecting on their current situation. Then from there, after the quiz, they're experiencing a little bit of Dr. Tangie through the video, and they're kind of getting a flavor for who you are and deciding, do I resonate with her? Is she kind of on my wavelength? And from that, you're inviting people straight from that experience to get on the phone with you and have a conversation to talk about working together in more detail in some type of paid relationship. So in a very short amount of time, people can literally go from, I have no idea who you are, to, wow, I've never thought about these questions before. You're making me think in a way that I've never thought before. And if we've ever had an experience, you may be able to speak to this. Have you ever had a conversation with someone where they ask you a really good question and it sticks with you and you're like, wow, she's really smart. But all she did or he did was ask a really good question. It's a really powerful way to demonstrate your expertise without having to beat your chest and say, I'm amazing, I'm the best in the world. You're just asking really good questions that are making people think. So you've done that. You've given people an immediate, a tremendous amount of value in a short amount of time to give them their results in the form of the video and the PDF report they get. And you're inviting them to take this risk-free step, which is, let's get on the phone and have a conversation, and we'll chat to see if it makes sense to maybe explore working together more deeply. And you can see how seamless that is. And it's no wonder that you're having 5-figure months, like your first couple months in business like this. I mean, it's great. It's just the beginning. Is there anything you'd like to say to any of that that we just kind of unpacked here in the last minute or two?
Yeah, I think that everything you said was true, and I think because of the quiz funnel master class, just going through that process allowed me to really think about my business in a different way that I had been thinking about it beforehand, thinking about it kind of like with the end in mind, than like, oh, I'm just gonna put up, some PDF and hope people reach out. So it's been really great.
It's that staircase that leads directly to what it is that you want to create, right? It's like you have the thing, the end in mind, and then now let's build. So I know where I want to take people. I know where I want people to land. So now let's build this bridge that's going to take people from where they are in their life right now, and the bridge is the quiz, from where they are in their life right now to where I want to get them to be, which is to work with me in this kind of business and mission that I've sort of created here. So this is amazing. This is awesome. I mean, I am smiling from ear to ear because it's really cool to hear a story like yours that it's just taken off in a short amount of time. I would love to ask you one last question before we wrap, and that's this. There are people watching this conversation right now, this interview, and they may very well be in the exact situation that you were in not that long ago. maybe they're in a career, whatever that career may be. They could be a doctor, a lawyer, an interior designer, but they could be in any career where either they're feeling unfulfilled, they're feeling burnt out, they're feeling overwhelmed, and they're thinking that building an online business, creating an online business is the path to achieve that freedom, impact, and legacy that you ask about in the quiz. But they're sitting here and they're saying, is a quiz funnel the way to do it? Like, is this the path? There's a million ways that I could be doing this. Is a quiz funnel the right path? They're sitting here, they're watching this, and they're saying, do I do it? Do I not do it? They're on the fence. What would you say to that person who's in that situation right now?
Get off that dang fence and go for it. Yeah, like number one, as I spoke to before, it's going to give you so much more clarity on your own business. Number two, people love quizzes, and like I can't hardly pass by a quiz on the internet. And then the third thing is, not only do you get people engaged in what you're offering, but it also serves you also on the back end, because it is a quiz and a funnel. You get your data, and yeah, I wouldn't have done it any other way.
I love it. I love it. Anything else that you'd like to share before we wrap things up? Anything else that you'd like to share about your experience, either working with the team, getting help, getting the quiz built? Anything about the training? Anything else you'd like to share? If you wanted to add anything, if you were to speak from the heart, anything else you'd like to share before we kind of wrap things up?
Yeah, I think the team is amazing. The Facebook community, I've never asked a question and not received an answer in there. I've made connections with other people as well. If you hunker down and really focus, it will be the best focused. I can't remember how long it was. I think it was 6 weeks. It will be the best focused 6 weeks you spend on your business, on your funnel, in my opinion. So
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, listen, Dr. Tangie, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to share your experience and to share a little bit about your story. It's super inspirational. I'm smiling ear to ear because this is why I do what I do. Like, it's cool just to have these conversations and to just hear about how you've started. And when we get back on a year from now and you're telling me about your results, I'm saying, remember, don't forget the little people when you're taking over the world and what you've been able to do in a short amount of time. So I'm super excited about your future and what's in store for you as well.
All right. Thank you so much, Ryan.
Awesome. Once again, this is Ryan Levesque, and we've been talking with Dr. Tangie here, Dr. Latanya Watkins, about her journey of literally starting from zero, ground zero, no business, no revenue, no list, starting with nothing, and just in a few short months, going from nothing to generating her first $40,000, having 5-figure months. Her business is growing by leaps and bounds, and she's been able to do it with the quiz funnel, driving leads and customers into her business. And the thing that I'd love more than anything else is to invite you to join us on the free quiz funnel workshop that we have, where I'm walking through this process in more detail. We're going to talk about how to decide what type of quiz is right for you in your business, what to do if you're starting from ground zero and you have absolutely no business, no market, no product, no list, nothing, where to start, what your first few steps should be, and the step-by-step process to go from idea to having a completed quiz. This free quiz funnel workshop is something that we only do basically once a year. And if you're watching this right now, your timing is perfect because it just so happens to be happening around the corner. So if you want to join us, the link is quizfunnelworkshop.com. Follow the instructions on this page or post. Click the link, follow the URL, quizfunnelworkshop.com. Join us inside the workshop, and I look forward to seeing you inside. Take care, talk soon, and have a great rest of your day.